Mic check, mic check. Check, 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 check. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Okay, this is not going to be a polished session. We are going to go with a real raw session. I haven't built anything out yet. David, welcome in. Lord Merman, welcome in. Luke, you sold your INTC contracts yesterday. Oh, I know that's gotta hurt. Ouch. I know I was thinking about investing into INTC when the government announced that they were investing into INTC. And then I think I was just waiting, on INTC this morning is up huge, massive. I think I have alerts set right here at 27 at the gap area on the daily. This is really, it's not really done anything. This is where INTC has been. And so I was like, well, I'm not investing into this. It's sitting here under the gap area still. Like I'm waiting for it to get up to the $27 mark, and then I would, entertain an idea of an investment. But yeah, this whole consolidate all of this. This is a year's worth, 1 year worth of consolidation down here, and it broke out this morning. So 5-minute time frame, INTC up. Massive. Yeah, I should have invested when it was in the low 20s. I had an opportunity. I saw it down here in the low 20s. I've seen it over here in the low 20s. I've been watching this for a few months now. And yeah, we got the news this morning. In case you don't know, the news is this. Nvidia bets big on Intel with a $5 billion stake and chip partnership. This makes Nvidia the largest shareholder, one of the largest shareholders, giving it roughly 4% or more of the company after new shares are issued to complete the deal. And that price that they purchased at was it doesn't say it here. I believe it was $23 and some change. I believe that was the agreement. Don't quote me on that. Actually, let's be sure. I suppose it maybe doesn't even matter, but let's see if any of these will say. Yeah, $23.28 per share. So there you have it. All right, let's start with SPY. First one on the watch list. Yesterday we had the FOMC, a Fed meet, interest rate decision, and initial rally that then sells off, that then rallies and pretty much is non-directional into the close. Then we get the morning gap up this morning. So SPY, with this being at the all-time highs, it just the only thing that we go off of here is what we have in the pre-market, right? There's nothing there. There's nothing else to go off of. That is it. That is the only thing that we can look at to say, hey, we can potentially set a level here. So SPY is just going to be long above your pre-market high, and that may be the case for pretty much everything on the watch list today. I'm not sure. We got to take a look around and see. So SPY long above 665 works. Where do we go short on this? My assumption would be if we're trying to make something happen to the short side, to the downside, if we're trying to make something happen, we can't go short under the PDC. That's going to be too far away. So probably where this old resistance here becomes new potential support at 662, but that feels a little too close. So I think we just go down like 50 cents here and split the difference between this support point there, which you see. So if I drew a line there, right, we're splitting the difference between that support point and this resistance point there and there. So this whole area, in my opinion, is going to be a dip area that potentially gets bought. So that's what makes this, for me, a great level or area to place a short level. That's going to be 661.5. Give me 1 second. 1 second, please. Okay, we're back. Okay, number 2 on our, I should just pull it up over here, I suppose. Our focus list is going to be Nvidia. So what happened with Nvidia? Given the buyback, it looks like Nvidia is actually rallying. I originally included this on the watch list as a short idea. And I know that it's up, but I'm not super keen on going long on this until it breaks 179. So with this not being near 179 right now, I don't know that I put this on the watch list. So I'm just going to, for Nvidia, let's just put this right here as a placeholder for now. And we'll come back to that if we can't find anything else that looks a little better. We might find something that looks better. So we'll come back to this one. We'll make a decision on this one after we look at everything else. Reddit. Let's see if we got a gap up this morning. We do on Reddit. This is going to be new all-time highs for Reddit on the day. That's the weekly. On the daily time frame, look at all of this consolidation under 270. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of consolidation under 270 into a breakout move this morning. Can we get the follow through today? That is going to be the biggest question. Reddit is not a super popular name for day trading. A lot of people know of Reddit. They use Reddit, but I don't know that people trade Reddit. So we're going to go long above 274 for Reddit, and this is going to be a side chart for us because it's not super popular. So 274, and that's all we can go off of is your pre-market highs because this is the all-time high. Apple, next one on the list. Did it get over 240? No, it still cannot. It still cannot get over $240 after yesterday's price action, which was absolutely horrendous. Terrible. I mean, look at this. This is so disgusting. I don't know that we put this on the list. Maybe, certainly not over 240. Now the line becomes 241, given that was the prior days, not yesterday, but the prior days high of day, and then your pre-market high this morning. We'll put Apple in the same category as Nvidia. I just don't see. I don't see that this is immediately in play, and maybe we go with something better. So we'll add that just as a placeholder for right now, and we'll come back to it. How about Tesla? Tesla looks good for a continuation. I've been watching Tesla for a possible continuation. It just hasn't given us anything yet. It's been unable to get above 424, which has been the resistance area over the past 3 trading days. Now this morning we get a gap up, so we're going to look for a break of the pre-market high at 434. So Tesla absolutely makes the watch list. Long idea above 434. And what we'll say here is just looking for a continuation following the morning gap up and the recent run. Perfect. Short level, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in going short. If I was, it'd be down here at 410, and it's not really near 410 at all. Excuse me. So we're going to ignore the short level on Tesla. There's nothing here for us. So now that's the full focus list, right? But things have changed. Certainly. Since SPY has gapped up, and we didn't see the gap up yesterday when I did my analysis, now I need to run back through everything and see maybe there's something that I missed, or maybe there's something that is now in play that was not in play previously that we could potentially add to the watch list because, well, our watch list right now is pretty thin, isn't it? So we'll start with INTC, which is a stock that's up nearly 30% here in the pre-market. The only thing that I can see that we can do is long above $33. So INTC, we're going to say long over 33. This is huge. This is a big gap up for this name. I would be really kind of surprised to see this give us some sort of continuation. What this reminds me of, let me show you. What this reminds me of is this on Tesla, where Tesla had such a large gap up that it didn't have the power. Buyers didn't step in the next day. It was such a big gap up. Buyers did not step in the next day or that day and run it up. It actually pulled back and then wound up consolidating before running again. So that may be the case for INTC today. I'm not saying it absolutely will, but it may be. This is such a large gap up that almost certainly we are going to have people taking profits at the open, which would likely cause an opening dip. And then the question from here is, will that opening dip get bought? Will it even happen? First of all, if it does happen, will it even get bought? And then if it does get bought, will we even break the pre-market highs to give us a further run? Or will buyers just kind of be, exhausted by this point? It's worth adding to the list, certainly, because it has news on it. I'm just not so sure that it's going to give us any sort of follow through. So we're going to say INTC long above $33, watching for higher highs, following the morning gap up due to a positive reaction to a news catalyst. So INTC absolutely makes the list. All right, now let's roll through everything else. So what I'm going to be looking at here is this gray shaded area, the very most recent price action, the very last spot of price action. And I'm looking for something like this, something out of the ordinary, not anything like this that looks choppy, something out of the ordinary, something that's gapped up, maybe something that's trading at a point of resistance, anything that looks a little different or a little significant. And we can usually identify that pretty quickly as we roll through these. Microsoft is not near, let's see, on the daily, 518 is the breakout point. But the pre-market highs from prior is, okay, so 518. So it's not near 518, so we just keep going here. Nvidia with the gap up, we're not certain if we're going to put this on the list yet or not. So we keep rolling. Okay, PayPal is up. So yesterday was this after hours. Google and PayPal multi-year partnership to revolutionize commerce, right? Is that what it said? Multi-year strategic partnership focused on advancing several commerce solutions. Okay, so PayPal and Google partnership. Could this be something that this runs off of? So pre-market highs at 71, which is way down here. There is a gap on PayPal that starts at, 73. So that's something to absolutely keep in mind. We would have a break of the downtrend trend line. We would have a reclaim at the 50 EMA. It is still underneath the 200 EMA. This is not a bad setup, I think, to include. It's one that has potential. It's not gapped up too much. We've got a news catalyst on this, and it's a fairly significant news catalyst, the partnership with Google. I think this deserves to be a side chart, not a main chart, because of, PayPal is just not one that we usually day trade. But maybe it'll have some extra volume given the news catalyst here. So we'll go PayPal over 71, and we'll add that to the list and keep rolling. Lulu is up. Let's see what that news is. I probably won't add this to the list, but this is almost certainly news here. I'm not seeing anything, actually. I'm seeing volume. I'm not seeing news. Okay, let's go for a Twitter search, x.com, and we will search for Lulu. Let's see if we can find the news here. I don't see anything. Oh, wait. It's leaked. It's a leak. Is it leaked? American Express Consumer Platinum Refresh details, $8.95 annual fee. Why does that have to do with? What does that have to do with anything? Okay. So it's American Express boosts the platinum fee to $8.95 and adds Lululemon perks. So it's actually American Express. So let's look at AXP. Okay, this says reported earlier. American Express today unveiled major enhancements to U.S. consumer and business platinum cards available immediately, expanded lifestyle and business benefits, Okay, here we go. Including new credits on eligible purchases with Lululemon, Uber One membership, and enhancements to exist. So I wonder if Uber's up then. Would Uber be up off that news? Why is only Why is only Lulu running? All right, we'll skip it. I don't really understand. I don't understand. Maybe it just means more people. American Express is endorsing Lulu, and maybe it means that more people will shop at Lulu to get those added benefits. That's how I can make sense of this here. But we'll skip it. We'll skip it for now and keep on rolling. You said, please do this every day. Probably not. I'm actually trying to dial it back some, to be honest with you, because I feel like this is, if I'm being honest, this is more like course quality content. And I think that I do enough of giving out stuff for free. You know, if you're part of the Discord server, you kind of get this anyways when we go through the watch list in the morning before the market open. So my best advice to you is just join the Discord server if you're not a member, and just make sure you're tuning into the live streams. AMD's down, but make sure you're tuning into the live streams every morning. So this must be in response to Nvidia investing into Intel and not AMD, right? Investing into another chip maker rather than this one. Oddly enough, this gaps down to the $150 whole number. And 150 is conveniently the low of this secondary bear flag here, really. So we're going to be looking for lower lows underneath 150 for AMD. Yeah, we add this to the list. So now not only do we have a long idea on off of this news, but we're also offered now a short idea as well. So we'll say AMD short below 150 on watch, if I can spell correctly, for a break of the pre-market low / whole number / support on the daily time frame. On watch for a break of the pre-market low, whole number, and support on the daily time frame. All right, that looks pretty good. Of course, we got to be careful of the extension, but yeah, something to be mindful of there. All right, Google. We will look for new all-time highs on Google. I know your pre-market high over here is 255, but your actual all-time high is 253. So Google, let's move this up since it's pretty close to 253. Let's move this up to like 253 and a half. So we'll say Google. We'll add this probably as a side chart. Over 253.50, and then we delete the long level, short level. I don't think there's anything here. Maybe under 250. Yeah, I mean it's really choppy below. So we'll leave the short level off and keep moving. Qs are up there, and let's just keep rolling through our list and see if we can find anything else. Tesla, we already talked about. That one definitely makes the watch list. CrowdStrike is up. What's the news here? Must be looks like an analyst upgrade. So Needham adjusts the price target on CrowdStrike to 535 from 475. So it is an upgrade in an analyst rating, it seems. Those analyst ratings, they're honestly, they're BS. The price targets are also BS. You just don't have any idea. You know, they're saying we upgrade the price target to 535, but you don't have an idea if they're planning, you know, do they mean in the next year? Do they mean in the next 5 years? Do they mean in the next 10 years? Because that's pretty big, right? And for a day trader, which is what most of us do, I would assume, if you're following me, for day traders, that's really not, it's really not all that important if it's a price target that's to be hit in 5 years. So we're going to leave it alone. All right, PLTR actually up too. So our resistance is 172. That is very clear. I can see it over the past 1, 2, 3 trading days, not yesterday, but the past 3 trading days prior. And then the pre-market high is 172. On the daily, 172 relates to, you can see the resistance there. So break of 172, this has free room to run, I would say, to 177 and then eventually 180. I do like PLTR potentially over 172. I know that our list is getting full. We're going to tighten this up. Don't worry. This is just how I do it initially. So let's go PLTR over 172 and keep rocking with this. Apple, I think that we probably are going to wind up removing that from the list because we have a full list already with stocks that look a little better. Hood. Okay, Hood is not near the all-time. Oh, yeah, it is actually. 123.5 is your all-time high, right? Is it near that? Not quite. It's still a little far away, so I think we leave Hood off the list. Let's just make sure we set an alert there, though, to remind us that this is getting up to those all-time highs, and we'll come back to that one at a later date. Coinbase, nothing here. Way too choppy. Let's keep moving. Link dash Mara, yep, PFE. Okay, we keep on rolling. We're looking for anything that looks somewhat different in the pre-market, anything that's gapped up, anything that we might have missed, anything that's gapped down even. I'm not seeing too many gap downs other than AMD. So I think that that's going to be our trade idea short. And that is it. Somebody's asking about Meta. What are my thoughts on Meta? I think we're just holding out for all-time highs. So Meta, because it's too close to the all-time high, but it's not quite there yet. So 796 is your all-time high from where it's currently trading at, which is, let's go 786, right? Let's just go 786 because that's probably where we would go long. 785, 786. From there up to the all-time high area, 1.5% profit margin. I mean, it's not horrible, but I think the better trade on Meta, in my opinion, the better trade on Meta from here is just wait for new all-time highs. So there's nothing here for me on Meta at this time. It's like Nvidia to me, right? Like this, could we take a trade on Meta and capitalize from here to here? Yeah, but are we also limited on profit margin from here to here? Yeah, right? And then if we look at Nvidia, could we take a trade on Nvidia from here to the known point of resistance? Yes, we could. Are we also somewhat limited on profit margin from there to that known point of resistance? Yes, we are. So does it make sense to add Nvidia to the watch list? Not really, right? The better trade on Nvidia would just be, let's take this long on the break of 179. And that may or may not happen today, but it's not at 179 for the breakout go, right? And in relation to INTC, for example, this is already at the breakout point, right? This is already, so all we have to look for, boom, is go right at the open, right? That's it. That's all we need to look for. As opposed to like waiting, like if INTC pulled back like this, now we have to wait for it to get there before we take the entry. That's the type of setup we're given on Nvidia and Meta. So those two are less quality than the ones that we have. So there's nothing there on Meta, in my opinion, until it gets to the all-time highs. For more trade requests like that, I don't really do those in these sessions. I did that one, but that's more stuff for like the higher Spartan class. So I do encourage you, if you want feedback on those setups that you're trying to pick and you want the personalized response to it, just let me work with the watch list that we have, and then come join or get added to the wait list for that higher Spartan class. That's what that's all about. By the way, if you need more information on it, I mean, we have a ton of testimonials right here, higher Spartan testimonials. Scroll through and read some of these, and you can decide if that class is for you. Some of these are really long. That one's pretty long there, but it's good breakdown, good information, and it's all about watch list building. All about watch list building. I give you way more information in that class than I do here. All right, so here's our list. It's pretty full. Let's move this up to the top right and go back through it and pick and choose what we got and level it up some. So SPY, long above your all-time high or pre-market high at 665, and then short below 661.5. I think that looks fine. We're just going to try to take advantage of the breakdown to the PDC from there. Short level, yeah, I mean, I don't want to not place this. So maybe the only other thing we could do here is move that down a bit more since this has continued to sell. So let's move it down to 661. Excuse me. Move it down to 661 instead of 661 and a half. That feels a little more comfortable to me. Let's go Tesla. Next one on the list should be a continuation watch over your pre-market high, 434. Good to go there. INTC is going to be along above your pre-market high, which is $33. Notice I'm not going 33 and a half. That's done intentionally. The majority of the price action's happening under 33. But if this continues to move up prior to market open, make sure that you're adjusting that level to that true pre-market high. AMD is going to be a short idea under 150. Same is true here. Make sure you're adjusting. If this continues to sell, make sure that you're adjusting that short level down to whatever your true pre-market low winds up being. At this time, short below 150 looks good. Then we have PLTR over 172. I like this one. I do want to leave this one on the list. We've got Google over 253 and a half. I like that one. We can leave that one on the list. PayPal over 71, partnership with Google. I like this one. We'll leave this one on the list. And then we got Reddit over 274. We've been waiting for 6 days for this to break out. Finally, we're getting that move in the pre-market. So the big question is, will we get a follow through today on Reddit? Yes or no? And then will we get clean price action on that follow through? Yes or no? Then we've got Apple as a long idea above 241. Man, I don't know if we add this or not. I don't want to have too full of a watch list. This run was really nice, but then yesterday's price action was so ugly. And so I don't want to waste space. It seems like we get a nice run, ugly price action. Nice run, ugly price action. Can we get a nice run out of this? I don't know. It's not as gapped up as some of these other names, so it's tempting to put on the list. Here's what we'll do. Set alerts at 241. We'll remove it. In the live trading, if this goes off, if we get alerts to go off on Apple, we'll go back and take a look at it. I won't mind trading it because we've already analyzed it, but I don't think that it's an immediate watch. It's just not as gapped up as some of these other names. And then we make the decision on Nvidia. Do we include this on the list or not? I'm saying no. I don't feel like it's at the breakout point just yet. I think that this has room to recover 2.5% from where it's at. It's got some room to get there. And if it does and it's extended, right, from the gap up this morning, it's already up 2.8%, and then we're going to ask it to run another 2.5% before we even take a trade on it. Doesn't make sense to me to be up 5% and then be taking the trade up here when the stock is up 5%. Could it go? Yeah, I mean, this has significant news this morning. But will it be something that I would also feel like I'm chasing? Yeah, I would. So the better move, in my opinion, is to let this go without us. I'm going to set alerts at 179. I think that we let this go without us. Even if this runs, who cares, right? If this runs and takes off, great, fantastic. You know why? Because it sets us up tomorrow for a better setup. Now we can look at, we could look at the break of the resistance of 179, run this up above 179 to wherever this wants to go, next resistance point overhead. I have a line at 184, so that I am assuming our next resistance is going to be 184. Ideally, what we want to see out of Nvidia today is not a sell-off. We do want to see this run, but we would love to see this stop just short of 179 and then open under 179. That way tomorrow, boom, all we have to do is take it long on the breakout of that resistance. That would be the ideal scenario. We'll see if it happens or not. As for right now, Nvidia, we are going to remove this from the watch list. So this is what your full list looks like. And we'll take this last slot off too. SPY, Tesla, INTC, AMD, PLTR, Google, PayPal, and Reddit. That is it. That is the full watch list for the day. If you're new to the Discord server, by the way, welcome in. We love to have you. Thanks for joining. We will be trading live today. Here's how you navigate there. Live trading is not happening on YouTube. It will happen on the Discord server. Scroll all the way down. Bottom left-hand side of the server, all the way down, 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 down. You're going to see a channel called The Arena. Under the Voice Channels heading, make sure that that tab there is maximized so that you can see the arena. Join into the arena here. That is where we will conduct the live trading. Not here in the open chat. I'm not sure what this one member is doing there, but they're not going to hear me in the open chat. I will be in the arena, not in the open chat, so we'll see you over there in about, I'll probably join in about 10 minutes or so. So let me go ahead and get this watch list posted for the morning. My top stock pick of the day. Oh, it's going to be tough to choose. Probably, I think what makes the most sense here is just to watch what has the freshest news. So INTC and AMD. Either one of those, will be the top stock pick of the day. AMD will be the top stock pick to go short on. INTC will be the top stock pick to go long on. This is not taking away from the significance of the setups on Tesla or anything else on the watch list. These are all really good setups, but INTC does have the freshest news. We just need to be careful of that. I mean, it's a 28% gap up this morning, so we got to be really careful and mindful of that extension. But INTC has been consolidating for a year. It hasn't moved in price action outside of the range that it's been in for a year. And if you know anything about ranges, the longer that they consolidate for, the bigger the breakout will be. So this being up 28% and then having the possibility of running today further beyond that is not totally out of the question, because it's done nothing for a year. I need you to understand that. So INTC, while it's gapped up, it hasn't done anything in a long time, which might warrant a further run. INTC, top stock pick long above 33. AMD, top stock pick short below $150. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I hope that the pre-market review has helped you out, and we will see you over in the live trading. Thank you for your time. Good luck today. Hopefully we get some clean price action now that the Fed interest rate decision is out of the way. Cheers, and we'll see you over in the Discord. Take care.